How about now? Can you hear me now? Yay! I don't know what's going on, but there's obviously something wrong with my Yeti headset, my Yeti microphone is on my desk. For some reason, it's not coming through. So I've just added the headset, as you can see, and which has obviously got the microphone as well. Um, Not that you're going to be talking to me, but at least you can hear me talking to you, and I'll have to work out why that is. It was working about 2 hours ago when I tested it all and did a recording, and it all worked, but as you go live, it all suddenly breaks, obviously, as you'd expect. Anyway, as I was saying, this is going to be a stream of me and some friends that are going to help and join me and my two kids. And I'm going to be building one of these, which is a Sling TSI. Uh, yeah, Silicon said that streaming dude. Yeah, it is, isn't it? It's as soon as you go live, it breaks. But yeah, I'm going to be building one of these, a Sling TSI. It's a four-person, four-seat aircraft, and it's going to be me, a group of friends, and my kids, as I said. I might even manage to get Mrs. A out here to help as well. I'm out in my workshop, in my hangar space, and if I just move the camera around, you can see there's a bench across there, which we'll be using as a build space. And yeah, this is an amazing aircraft. It's a light aircraft, and you can build these. It's a DIY kit. You buy the kit. It's manufactured down in South Africa, just outside Johannesburg. And you can see on the specs here, it's four persons. It can carry 450 kilos of useful load. So that's the aircraft weight taken away from its max takeoff weight. It allows you, give or take, 450 kilos, depending on how heavy it is when you finish building it, but give or take a bit. So with 450 kilos, you can take four people, around kind of 70 to 80 kilos each for a person, a little bit less for a child, obviously, and then a few hundred kilos in fuel, and you can, whack along at 150 knots, which is about 170 miles an hour, give or take a bit, and you can make it all the way down from London all the way down to south of Spain, Gibraltar, somewhere around there. I'll pop up to Scotland for the day and grab a bottle of whiskey. So Silicon is saying off the back of this, started watching YouTubes where people building these things. Yeah, it's a fantastic one if you've not seen it. Mike Patey, he's an American guy who's built, he builds Cubs, and he's built Scrappy, which is just flown a few months ago, which he built with scrap parts from an aircraft that he crashed. It's an amazing build, all carbon fiber, and this thing is absolutely phenomenal. So well worth a look at that as well. But what I've noticed in building this sling and doing research is the fact that very few people put build videos. And if they do, they put a build video, which is them talking about what they've already done, not what they're doing and how they're doing it. And the tips and tricks of how they got that part to fit there, and did they have to drill that hole or not. They just talk about the fact that today I put the wing on and I bolted the aileron to the wing, and that's about all you get. So I thought with IoT Live that I've been doing my wingman Pete Gallagher on a Tuesday night, I thought, well, what if I stream me building the aircraft, and then what I can do is when I've completed a section of the build, so maybe the horizontal stabilizer, I can then edit those videos down into a shortened version, which will be then shown off on YouTube's and the likes for people that are building this aircraft that are following me. Can then either watch the hours and hours of build video, or just watch the short and cut down version. So that's the plan. That's what I plan to do. And I thought, I'll start off tonight just testing the setup, which obviously needed testing because audio didn't work, and talking a bit about this aircraft. So in the UK, around the world actually, there's a category of aircraft called experimental. So that is these light aircraft that are built, and in the UK, you've got the Civil Aviation Authority, the CAA, and in America you've got the FAA, for example, and obviously others around the world. And they typically have an arm of their group which deals with experimental aircraft. In the UK, that's delegated to another organisation called the Light Aircraft Association, which is a bunch of enthusiasts years and years ago, 70 years ago, in fact, that got together and started building these experimental aircraft. And they have the authority to authorize the design, authority to sign them off on behalf of the CAA, as long as you built them to the design and as long as you built them to spec. So what we do is you build a part of the aircraft. You then get an inspector to come and inspect your aircraft, and they're all volunteers. So you do tea biscuits and maybe a bit of petrol money. They'll come and inspect your aircraft and sign off the fact that you've built that part of the aircraft. So if I go across to my build menu, which is, I should have got this earlier, and have we got audio now? Are we back? I see Shahid's joined us. Chris Fulton is in as well. Yeah, we've got audio back. So obviously, what I need to do is in my other scenes add the audio for the headset to the other scenes as well. So I'll have to stick on this screen for the moment and add those in a minute. So as I was saying, the build manual is here, and we fill this in, get all the stamps, and then we hand that across to the LAA, Light Aircraft Association, with all the build steps complete, lots of different stamps and signatures next to it, a check and a load of filled-in forms to give us a permit to test. We take the aircraft for a test flight with a test pilot, and they do the first flight for you. And then after that, you carry out a test schedule, which is laid down in the manuals. And changes from time to time, so you have to use the latest and greatest test schedule. And then from that, once you complete the test, you then get a permit for your aircraft, which then means you're ready to go flying and take up passengers, which is what I'm really looking forward to, taking up my wife, my kids, friends, family, and then when I do these talks around the country, like going up to DDD and the likes, I can jump in my aircraft and fly up there and visit. So I'm getting used to this streaming stuff. Normally I've got my wingman Pete next to me, who keeps on top of all these things, and he talks and I monitor the chat, and I talk and he monitors the chat. If I'm doing something wrong, then please let me know. But yeah, I'm just looking back. So he's joining us all the way from down under. And was it Airbus? I'm not sure what you mean there, Shahid. It's built. It's built by Sling, the aircraft company, down in South Africa. Teleberg is the name of the airport where their factory is. I visited a few years ago when I first decided I was going to build a Sling. The engine is a Rotax 915 engine, and that is built by Bombardier and across in Austria. And you can see here the interior of the aircraft. So you've got two seats at the front. Both have the full flying control, so you both have a yoke. Or control stick, should it be, and then you got two seats in the back. They can fold flat, just like they can in your car, and you got a bit more storage space at the back. If that is Shahid, yeah, very funny. Is that the phrase that was silenced? Yeah, if ain't Boeing, ain't going. I'm gonna have to modify that. Ain't Boeing or Sling, I ain't going. Is I'm gonna have to say in the future. Yeah, but Airbus, we're not Airbus fans. And then we got a Garmin instrument display panel. A Garmin G3X is what the main display is, and a Garmin G5, which is a smaller display in the sense here, which is your backup in case the main one. Because even on light aircraft like this, you want to have backups of everything. So if one thing fails, you've got another thing to back it up. Obviously, it's single engine. So if the whizzy things stop whizzing at the front, you just pick a field. You turn into a glider and you go down. I'm at the moment, as Chris will attest as well, I'm going through and regaining my single engine piston, which is the light aircraft license you have to fly light aircraft. The last time I held that rating on my license, my commercial license, was over 15, 16 years ago. So I'm just going through, have to do a few hours of training, and then I can get that stamp back on my license and I can fly light aircraft again. So yesterday I was flying out of White Waltham Airfield, just near Reading, and I went up and I was doing circuits, which is where you fly around and land again, take off and land again. And the instructor's been really nice, and he pulled the engine back on me halfway in the downwind leg, which is halfway around the circuit, and then I had to land it with a simulated fouled engine. So we did that 2 or 3 times, and it's just to prove the point that if the whizzy thing stops whizzing, you can land in the field and make sure everyone on board is nice and safe. So any fartos, Chris is putting in there. Those of you who don't know aviation speak, that is shorthand for engine failure after takeoff. So shortly after takeoff, I did a couple of them again yesterday. About 150, 200 feet, the instructor pulls the engine on you, and then you have to prove the fact you can carry out the drill of stuffing the nose forwards, picking a field that's in front of you, that's safe to land on. At White Waltham, you have to be careful because there's high tension lines or power lines across the end of the takeoff path on runway 29. So you have to make sure you don't sort of pick to go and land on those, because that wouldn't be too good. But everyone on board getting fried in high tension lines, it wouldn't be too good at all. Wizzy things. This is why I joined the stream, to learn the proper terminology. Okay, Shahid, the propeller at the front. Okay, it's an Airmaster prop. And it's a constant speed prop, which means no matter what power setting you put on the engine, the propeller spins at the same RPM. And what it does, it changes the blade angle. So as you put more engine power in, the prop angle will change to absorb that extra engine power and give you more pull through the air. Air moving device, yeah, AMD. Isn't that a chip? There's, and I see there he is. So looking at that Azuris live thing, I'm guessing that's Peter's joined us as well. But yeah, as I was mentioning, it's powered by a Sling. It's powered by a Rotex 915. So it's got 141 horsepower, 130-ish, give or take a bit. Constant power. So it's 141 when you take off, but then you have to pull it back. You get 10 minutes of that power, and you have to pull the engine back so you don't overheat. Certainly in a hot and high conditions, like for example Johannesburg, should pull it back. My auto mod is going a bit mad. How close to actual landing would the instructor let the simulated engine failure go on for? He actually left it. I didn't get the engine back until we'd landed, so it was that long. On the Afata, engine failure after takeoff, once I carried out the initial actions of stuffing those down, electing an airfield, and then started doing touch drills. As soon as I started touch drills, because we was quite low, he gave me back a full power engine. We climbed away. But on the ones that were in the circuit at 800 feet above the ground, I didn't get the engine back. That is it. The engine's gone. You have to land the plane. Obviously, if it was dangerous and you wasn't going to make the airfield, they'd give you the engine back and that. But otherwise, it's gone and that's it. Azuris Live, you're currently timed out. So as this is meant to be a test, I'd love to know, Silicon Orchid, what you mean by my auto mod that is going nuts. I know I need to sort out the audio, which was working a couple of hours ago, and I've obviously broke my my mic, which is hence the headset. You see the instruments there. It's the Garmin EFIS, so it's all high fidelity LCD display. And it gives you the terrain. So you can see there, it's anticipating you're going to bump into the terrain, so it colours it in red for you. So hopefully you don't bash into stuff. Who is the real moderator? Well, it's on auto mod. I didn't know that was a thing. I'm not sure what I need to do there. Here's some specs on the aircraft. So as I say, 140 horsepower. It'll cruise along at about 170 to 180 miles an hour. So it can get from here to Newcastle about an hour and a half. Mother-in-law lives in Newcastle, so that's a nice, easy trip. Instead of 5 hours in the car, you can just jump in the aircraft and fly up there. And yeah, it's got a max operating altitude of 18,000 feet. Anything above about 10, 11,000 feet, you need to have oxygen on board and use a cannula, a nasal cannula, and pipes in oxygen or an oxygen bottle. But the team across at Sling USA have flown this all the way up to 28,000 feet with full-on oxygen masks and pressurized bottles. Yeah, it can go high. But yeah, uh, uh, Carl is saying, love this. And here I was thinking my Cytec yoke and flights in 2020 is cool. This whole order of magnitude cooler. It will be when it flies, Carl. Until then, it's a pipe dream and lots of expensive bits of metal next to me. So what I'm going to do is, because I'm not sure if it's going to work, I'm going to go across to my NDI stream. Hold on. If we do. Can you hear me now? How about now? We got audio back. Yay, we have. Right, excellent. So if I turn this monitor around so that I can see the chat, and I should, ta-da! You should be able to see me. I'm not sure if the audio is matching the video because I'm using NDI for my mobile phone, which is across on my bench across there. And obviously the headset is direct back. So there's a delay, Chris is saying. He would pick that up because he does work a lot in TV. And that's the sort of thing that drive you nuts. Even if it was half a millisecond delay, he'd probably pick that up. But this here is a model of what we're going to build. This is just a 3D printed model. Not my 3D print, sadly. An engineer at the LAA designs these and prints them and sends them out. He won't share the 3D model, sadly, because he knows full well I'll print lots of them. But that's the model. So here is the bench. If anyone knows anything about NDI, and then ask if I could clap. Not sure how long that delay is. I'll do it again. Ready? 3, 2, 1. About 1.2 seconds. That's really good, Alan, for picking that out. Chris says 1.5. Audio early. It would be because the audio is Bluetooth straight back and the phone is NDI back. I'm not sure how I can fix that. If anyone knows, please chuck it in the chat and we'll see what we can fix it for the next stream. But as you can see in the bench in front of me, we've got lots of component parts. So we've got these ribs, which are at, if you imagine, we're building the horizontal stabilizer. So you get these nice drawings, which you can use to build the aircraft with. The first thing you do, and Chris helped me with this, he's a good friend that lives locally. He come across when the box arrived, and we went through the box and we ticked all the parts off to say that we had them, and made sure that they're all correct and good. And when they arrive, they come covered in plastic like this. So you've got this blue plastic. Sometimes it's clear, which just means it's an older part because I switched to blue so you could see it. So you didn't accidentally leave the plastic on when you built the aircraft. So first thing you do is you peel the plastic off. Notice that there's a barcode on there. That's how you know what part number that is. You can use. You peel the plastic off. You then deburr the metal because it's quite sharp. So those parts have been deburred. These parts haven't. So not sure you can hear there my finger against the burr. It's quite a deep burr on these. And the reason being is that all these parts are CNC cut with a water jet cutter in the factory. And as that water jet goes through the metal, it obviously tips a burr on the other side of the aluminium. So you peel the plastic off, you deburr, and you clean up the aluminium with a Scotch-Brite pad, a red Scotch-Brite pad, to clean it up. And once you've got all the parts deburred and cleaned, you then also need to clean the holes out. So use a tool like this, which is like a countersink drill bit on a funny screwdriver thing, so it whizzes round. and you literally put it in there. I'm not going to do it because I've already done it and I don't want to wear it down anymore. But as you spin the handle, it spins the drill bit around, and you just do 2 turns. That's all you need to do, 2 turns either side of the hole. In fact, if I do it on one of these holes here, if I do it on one that I remember, and I'll mark it. So just stick it in there and just go 1, 2, and that's it. And that's deburred now. And that hole is nice and clean. Just going to mark that so I know I've done it. So there we go. Marked, so I know I've done that. And the reason you don't want to do too many more is because obviously when you deburr, what you're doing is creating a little concave part into the hole. If you do it too much, you'll thin the hole and you'll go through, because obviously this is a drill bit, so it will just drill a hole through the metal. So you just do 2 turns each side of the hole just to clean it out and get rid of the burr that's been cut into the hole. So you go through, you do all that, you clean all the parts up, you deburr all the holes, you can get it all fixed up. And the next thing you need to do is on this aircraft, the way they get such decent speed is they sink a lot of the rivets into the skins. So on the wings, on the leading edges of the wings and leading edge of the horizontal stabilizer. The horizontal stabilizer, if you don't know what that is, at the back of the aircraft, you got that other little wing, haven't you? If you think of the Airbus or the Boeing that you last went on probably 2 years ago now when you went to on holiday, you got the main big wings, and then you got that little kind of T-shaped wing at the back. That wing at the back is the horizontal stabilizer. So that's what we're building here as the first part of the kit. And all the leading edges of that as well got sunk in rivets. So what you do is you dimple the skin of the down, so the rivet head sits in the dimple. So then you have a nice flush, smooth airflow, laminar flow over the top of the wing, much like a big commercial aircraft. It's a little bit of extra work, but it gives you that extra, 10 knots of speed and that lower fuel burn because you haven't got all those rivets causing all the parasite drag is what it's called, which is where it spirals off the top of the rivets, and that parasite drag drags the aircraft back, and because you're dragging the aircraft back, you're going to burn more fuel because you need a bit more power to go the speed that you want it to go. So we'll deburr these, we'll clean them up, we'll do all the dimpling ready. Next step then is to spray the aircraft with a primer. Which protects the aircraft, just like you do have on your car before they put the final coat on the top, whatever color you pick. They will prime the car. I worked in the car industry for 11, 12 years, so I kind of helped build those priming parts. So I know how that part works. I'm just going to look back at the chat. Able to see the chat right now? No, I completely forgot, but I'm looking back now. Auto mod, Carl saying F you auto mod, we need to get Cliff's attention so he can add one of us to the mod or something. I've just got a message from Chris. What's the issue? Urgency. Issue is that auto mod is making chat super hard. Right, okay, let's fix this now because I've got Silicon Orchid and I know he's an absolute expert at this. If I go back here, if I bring up the where is it? Is it in OBS or is it in Twitch? That's the first question because I haven't a clue where auto mod is. I'm assuming you can hear me. Twitch, right? So we go into Twitch. So here's Twitch, and here's the chat, and I need to type this command, right? As long as auto mod doesn't stop you typing the command, obviously. So you can see I'm using stream timer at the beginning, so I really like that. /mod, right. Am I about to give you my super secret passwords here, Signal? I mean, this isn't going to give you complete control, is it? And you're going to take me down or something. Is that it? It's safe, he says. Yeah, why don't I believe you? I typed it. I don't know what's happened. Um, yeah, we're good. So here's mod view. I'm not sure if I should be showing this or I'll get told off. Um, and I'm assuming it's down here. You can allow words. Why would they be blocked? Um, I don't know what I'm doing here. No, I'm quite happy for you to be Bod, but yeah, it'd be nice to know what's being done though. So do we have to add terms to the permitted terms? Is that what we do? Yay, we're back. Were they were they kicked out then? Is that what happens? People being muted for 5 minutes. Is that because they use a naughty word? I see. Okay, I'm getting it now. But how do we? What have you done, Silicon Orchid, to change this? Have you turned that off, or have you got twice for regular words? Well, I did nothing. I left it all as standard because I didn't know that existed. But that appeared, Carl. Right, okay, I see what you're saying. So every time someone gets blocked, but how do you know they got blocked? Does it pop up with the fact they got? I'm just looking back up the chat. Did Shahid says bloody hell, 28,000 feet. Yep, yep. You can watch it on YouTube. You go onto the Sling TSI YouTube video, and you'll see them flying it up there. They gave in when they started to realise they were starting to get deprived of oxygen, and you could tell they're getting hypoxic because they were starting to like giggle and laugh at the, nothingness. So they realised it thankfully and started to descend, which is good. Um, so it tells us, i.e., the blocked person, but it tells you the blocked person. But then for everyone else, we can see messages disappear as a streamer or mods. We can see the problem is right. To move my role, you can type on mod. No, I'm quite, you can stay mod. I don't mind. If you pop along, then you can jump in and help out. Cool. Right, so I think what we'll do is we will look at some drawings, which I think is kind of cool place. Do you like the clouds behind the video? By the way, I thought that was kind of cool. It's thanks to I think it was Pete that gave me the website where I found these. But yeah, they're kind of flowing past. And I'm using James Montemagno's stream timer to do this, the beginning timing at the very beginning. But if we look in the drawings here, this was the set of drawings that I was holding up on the NDI cam earlier. You can see here we've got the part numbers. That's the part number that's on the barcode, and then it tells you what it is. So this is the part number. It's got HS for horizontal stabilizer, rib because it's a rib. It's rib number 7, and then the X, F, and O. O at the end or 0 at the end is issue number. So this was very first, hasn't changed. The center channel has been changed twice, and EF denotes which airframe it is. So whether it's a TSI Sling 4, a mixture of the two, etc., etc. So Pete's got a nip off. Yes, and see you later, Pete. And yeah, we need you back on the next stream. I don't think Grant mods Azurish live. Let me try. Nope. So yeah, Second Orchid is asking about my workspace. Well, the hangar, as I started calling it before I built it, with Mrs. A, just to wind her up more than anything else. She's not a fan of flying. So I tried to get permission to build a garage at the side of the house because there's a little bit at the side of the house that's perfectly garage shaped, but the council got uppity about that and didn't like it. So I built a workshop in my back garden. The maximum you're allowed under permitted development. So the height is the same as the garages of the two neighbours, and the width and length is the maximum you can get under permitted development. So built all this all on my own. Ping the camera over. Should we go across to the NDI cam again? Is that what you're asking for? Let's return the screen round. So yeah, it's 6 meters by 3 meters inside. So it's just long enough to build the wing and the fuselage. Obviously can't build them at the same time. So I'm going to build the tail, the horizontal stabilizer and the vertical stabilizer first. They will get completed. Then I'll store them somewhere. Chris Bolton, I'm looking at you. And then we'll build the wings. They are about to ship from the factory in Johannesburg and come via a boat up by the Suez Canal. Hopefully that won't get blocked this time. And hopefully arrive me in November, December timeframe and build them as well. And then we'll move on to build the fuselage, which is the next part of the kit. And that just about fits in the workshop here. I literally have about half a metre to spare lengthwise. Widthwise, it's the width of this bench here, about 1.4 metres. We build that, and then we take all those major components completed. We take them to a local airfield. I'm not sure where that's going to be just yet. We'll take them to an airfield, and then we'll put the wings on, put the tail on, and then we'll bolt the Rotax engine to the front, and then start doing things like electrics and completion. Once it's completed and we've got it ready, we then take it to a spray shop where they'll spray it, and just like you do with a car, and then that's where the point we're at, where we will be flying it. This kit can be built really, really quickly. If you look at the Sling website and their YouTube channel, you'll see that they've built these things in 7 days using the factory builders that are used to building it. So know where every nut, rivet, bolt goes. They've built it and flown it in under 7 days. So it can be built really, really quickly. I'm not that good. I'm not that clever. I used to be an engineer, but this is a touch different. But you just need basic DIY skills and time and lots of cups of tea. So this is going to be the project over the next couple of years. Chris, who's in the chat, will be joining me quite a lot because he's my build assist person. And as I say, you'll see my kids come in from time to time and help out as well because they want to get to flying it. I noticed on the stream, I'm going to need to fix the NDI timing from audio to video because there is a delay. Not sure how I'll do that. You could use a second laptop, tablet, etc. to show just that chat. That's a really good idea. And I think what I'll do is I've got a spare screen down here on the floor. Don't tell Chris because it's his. I might mount that screen up on that wall, so behind the NDI cam, and then I can just look up and see. And also, the other reason I want to do that is because when we want the drawings, we can put them up on that screen as well, and we could have the drawings up there because at the moment the bench is quite empty. But as these parts coming together, you really can't have paper drawings around. And not only that, these drawings that they send are the up-to-date drawings at the time they ship the components. So they're not the latest and greatest of what you build to. So you always build from the PDF documents that you share with you on Dropbox. So really, you always want the electronic ones. So I might put a screen up on that wall and then use that for displaying the chat, as you say. Don't have to watch your entire stream. Yes, it's a good idea. Carl is saying, wow. I'm hoping, those of you who do hang around and join the stream with me, I'm hoping to get around the country and visit as many meetups and talks, and then bring Handy or whatever IoT projects I'm working on, or Maui projects I'm working on at the time, and come and visit some meetups and get around and also show off the aircraft and some of the tech that we're going to build into the aircraft as well. Some of the things we've got that we're thinking of putting into the aircraft to help the light aircraft industry. It's not a very big tech-wise industry. There's not a lot other than the avionics. Everything else is pretty much left to the home builder to build. So there's a lot of ideas that I've been coming up with along with Chris. Yeah, Carl is saying, love to host me down in the southwest. I'd love to come down there, Carl. And meet up and bring the aircraft down and yeah, have some fun. The moderator was going nuts. I think Silicon Orchid's managed to fix that for me. Thank you. I'm going to put a screen up on that wall so I can watch the chat, and I somehow need to sort this NDI audio thing. Does anyone know how you fix that? Your You can have text very big on the screen, like teleprompt. I've got that on the screen down here. You can probably actually see the text. It's huge. I have not changed auto mods. So if you've not changed it, then how is it suddenly letting everyone back in? Um, I'm intrigued. I don't know. Um, yeah. Uh, Nobody seems to have said anything block-worthy. All right. Okay. Fair enough. So yeah, I'm going to move back over to this one here and sit back down. Twitch turned it off and on again. Okay. So as I say, I just want to test this and make sure the stream works and all the setup. I've got here, which is full screen. I need to fix the audio in that. I've got the NDI there as well, and I've got also, but there's no audio on that one as well. But nope, it's gone now. So that is the workshop, as you can see in that. Right, it's gone now. That's just a camera that's up behind me here, which looks down over the workshop. And I use that as a security camera as well. So as anyone comes in, it pings me and lets me know so that I can tell them to sod off, basically. There's no audio on the other scenes. I'm aware of that, Circle Orchid. I do need to fix that. I don't want to be doing the build with headset on because, I like these headphones and I don't want them to get damaged. So I do need to sort out the microphone problems. Yeah, and hopefully I can iron out these glitches. If you know how to iron out the NDI problem, that'd be fantastic. I'm not sure if the NDI app on the phone can pick up the audio and how good that audio is. Maybe that's an option. Does anyone use NDI tools at all for OBS and Twitch streaming? I think everyone is pretty much at a screen, aren't they, and a keyboard. Uh, Dates and times? No, I don't, Carl. I'm hoping to try and make it fairly regular, purely because I want to get a move on and get it built. But you will know about it days in advance. I'm not going to do it. All right, I'm just going to pop out and build something. I will make sure that I notify you a couple of days in advance, or at least a day in advance, of the fact that I'm going to go and build something. That's the plan. I'm going to try and keep to maybe a Wednesday night if I can do a Wednesday night, because Tuesday night is IoT Live, same time, 9 o'clock. Wednesday night probably works out as a good date because I tend to fly commercially at the weekends. So Wednesday night works for me. And timings, kind of 8, 9 o'clock-ish would be what I'm planning to do. So Alan says, try this advice, stars. I'm assuming you said something naughty there, Alan. So I'm not sure if you've been blocked and how I'd see if you've been blocked. Pete's back. Yay. Hi, Pete. So I'm not sure what Alan said or how I see if he's been blocked. It's a URL. Okay. You might need to do, I think with URLs, you have to space it out with the dots and spaces, don't you? I think that's what you have to do. Don't you normally do? So no funny looks as you enter the flight deck and bits of aluminium and a rivet gun. Yeah. I bought bits of aluminium back from South Africa on a flight before. It was one of the other builders that's in our group of builders. We're all building the same aircraft. He's one of his longerons, which is a 2.5 meter bit length of aluminium that's only yay thick, was damaged and drilled incorrectly at the factory. So I was down there in South Africa. The factory said, we've got one. It's going to be about a month before we ship it to you. And it was holding him up. So I was like, well, I can take it home. He only lives, a few miles from me. So I trudged through the airport, this 2.5 meter length of aluminium. And not once anywhere was asked any questions. I put it through the x-ray machine, lump of metal. Didn't show up anything else. But yeah, not once was asked a single question the whole journey back to, even walking through customs at Heathrow, but didn't get questions as to why I had this big lump of metal with me. But yeah, the other advantage of this kit, before I move on, is the fact that unlike RVs, which is another really, really popular aircraft build around the world, certainly in America, is the fact that they have solid rivets, which means you have to have a rivet gun, which goes dong, 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 dong. And then on the back of it, you have a bucking bar, which is basically a big lump of metal. And what you do is you squash, you gun the rivet, and it squashes the other side against the metal and creates two lumps either side. We use pulled rivets or pop rivets, wait there, I'll grab one. So we use pop rivets or pulled rivets just like these, and all that happens is the rivet gun pulls the mandrel through, and it makes the end here splay out and fixes all the bits together. There's over 20,000 of these in the kit, so it's a lot of rivet pulling. Not doing it by hand. Some you do have to do by hand because you can't get the electric rivet gun in there, but otherwise I'm using a Milwaukee rivet gun tool. And Pete's asking if I'll be using the Percept parts checker. I will, Pete. And there's the Percept just sitting next to me on the top of the bench there. It's just sitting here. And what I'm going to be doing with that is, as we go through the build, I'm going to be cataloguing images of all the parts, and then doing the image recognition and training in the cloud, so that actually by the end of this, I'll have a data set of every part that went into the build and its part number. And then I can use that so that in the factory, they can show a Percept device a part, and it'll then tell them, it'll show on the display what part that is. Because like I say, until the barcode's fitted onto the part, you don't know what it is. You've taken the barcode off to rub it down and clean it. And what you do is you write on the inside with a Sharpie the part number. As you take the barcode off, you write inside the part number. But then you spray it. So then you cover up that part number again. So many opportunities. But then what you do is you write it back inside after it's sprayed. So there's many chances from the factory to you finishing the aircraft where that part could be mislabeled. And this is a problem I've seen. And I've seen lots of people either putting parts in the wrong place or not knowing what this part is. On our WhatsApp group, just the other day, someone's like, "I've got this part, I'm not sure which one it is," and they have to troll through all the drawings. So that's the plan. And as Pete has pointed out, I've even written a blog post on it. You can see that on my blog, cliffordages.co.uk, or up on the Tech Community blog site. There's quite a lot of interest in that blog up there as well, in the fact that it's showing a real use case for the Percept device. Carl, I've spoken to the factory and or one of the people down there anyway, and they're interested in the fact that it can identify parts. So yeah, it'd be nice if a good use case for them to use the Percept, but obviously it needs to have all the parts catalogued. So what I'm going to do is catalog all the empennage parts and prove that it works, and then let them catalog the rest, because obviously they've not just got the Sling TSI, they've got a Sling 2, which is the two-seat version, and also the high wing, which is exactly the same as the TSI, but the wing's on top rather than down low. In fact, actually, we can actually look at the other aircraft types. We can go back here and let it load up. The aluminium used in this is 6061 T6. You can see the three different variants. There's the high wing on screen there as well. So 6061 is aluminium that's been alloyed with its silicon and manganese or magnesium. I can't remember which one it is. In fact, actually, I brought the sheet up earlier because I was looking it up. Magnesium, there you go, and silicon. So it's actually got silicon in the metal. How cool is that? That's proper IoT. That's like internet in the things. So yeah, it's magnesium and silicon. And the advantage of this is the fact that even if you just scratch the metal, it's still got its protection from the magnesium and silicon, the magnesium silicide, as it says there. It's still got protection. Other aircraft, light aircraft, is typically made with something called alclad, where it's pure aluminium and it's clad with an alloy. But as soon as you scratch through that cladding, which is only a few microns thick, you're down to the pure aluminium, which then oxidizes, and then you start to get corrosion, which is not good. I've never heard of the alloy that uses silicon. I hadn't either, but it's there on screen. It says it uses silicon. So yeah, It's used in a lot of aircraft manufacturing, certainly of commercial aircraft as well. To use 6061, and then the T6. What that stands for is how it's been heat treated. So from its raw aluminium. So obviously you got the sheet aluminium here, and then it gets heat treated, and then and annealed, which is basically where you heat it up to a certain temperature below its obviously melting point, and then how quickly or slowly you cool it down. And do you cool it down in air, or do you cool it down in water, or do you cool it down in oil? If you need to do it slowly, you can cool it down in oil, which is already at a high temperature. So you plunge it into the oil and it cools it down. So yeah, that's essentially how you heat treat your metal. So I've realised I've been talking now for 50 minutes. I've got some work to do. Ferrosilicon uses silicon too. Obviously, it does by the name. I'm not sure what you mean there, Alan. Ferrosilicon. No, you've lost me there. Sorry. Hopefully next week, alloy uses. Ah, right, okay. Alloy uses silicon. Ah, okay. Ferrosilicon. I've got you now. I've worked it out. Oh yeah, you don't get much work done when you stream. The idea was tonight not to actually do any work. The idea was just to test the setup. Found some problems, some things to fix. I've got a 3D printer going next to me, which is printing a part for the washing line in the garden that broke today. So I quickly made a model of the part and need to fix it. It's snapped inside, so I've quickly made a new one and quickly 3D printed a new one for fixing the washing line to keep Mrs. A happy. But yeah, the idea is that when we're doing the building, Chris will probably be here, and we'll be able to one of us chat away, and we'll carry on the building. Yeah, that's the plan. I'm going to leave you to it, let you get back to your families, or at least go to bed, or carry on coding, whatever it is you're doing, whatever cool project you're working on. If it is a cool project, please let us know. And yeah, everyone seems happy, other than the audio, which I need to fix. I need to work out why that's not working, and the NDI delay. But thank you very much for coming along and helping me fix this. Silicon Orchid, thank you for the help with the auto mods. Hopefully I'll get it fixed. And thanks. I'll see you later. Good night.